Welcome to Developing Me, We, and You, where real people, real projects, and real change come together. Immanuel Ivey is a builder of people, programs, and places. As the executive director of Edna Martin CBDO, LLC, he's leading efforts to ensure affordable housing and economic opportunity remain rooted in Martindale-Brightwood. With a rich background in workforce development, entrepreneurship, and youth programming, Immanuel brings nearly 2 decades of experience into his role as a new developer, proving that community knowledge is as critical as construction knowledge. His current initiative, the HOMES program, reflects a holistic vision for housing that centers residents, equity, and empowerment. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ivey, for joining us today.
My pleasure.
Thank you for creating this opportunity to highlight other developers locally. This is something that I really have grown to appreciate about you, just your willingness and to highlight other folks and to bring folks up and to be a connector. That's who you are as a person.
Yes, that's who I am.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
Along with being a connector of people, you're also a program leader, a counselor, an entrepreneur, a youth advocate, all the things. What led you into the development space?
Honestly, I was 1 foot in and 1 foot out in my former position as a senior director. It just wasn't challenging anymore for me. I would write a grant in my sleep for $500,000 million and get it the next grant round. So I just needed a challenge within the work that I was doing. I actually had an evaluation with my boss the fall of 2022, and within that evaluation, I was honest with him, saying that I'm looking to leave Edna Martin and go into other ventures. Then he proposed the opportunity to be or apply to be the vice president of programs or the executive director of the CBDO. The CBDO was something interesting. It was just something that I was like, wow, I never within my nonprofit work ever did affordable housing development. So, that was a challenge for me. And I said yes to that challenge. So that's what kind of really moved me within this space.
Okay. So you were up for the challenge. And I know being a developer, there's a lot to learn. So what has the learning curve looked like for you?
It has been very challenging. Originally, my first year in 2023, was supposed to be all about development and training for me. But unfortunately or fortunately, we started to write grants, and we actually got the Indianapolis Vacant to Vibrant grant, in which we started with 3 rehabs. So I was actually flying the plane while building it at the same time.
We do that in nonprofit, right?
Yes, we do.
This work.
Yes, we do.
So Vacant to Vibrant, is that what it was?
Yes.
And I know we've had a few folks on that talked about Vacant to Vibrant, but you said 3 homes. So new construction, renovation.
It was 3 renovations.
Okay.
Unfortunately, the third house that we had was just too lead paint infested. So and plus it was already tearing down, So we decided to demolish that home. So we have 2 rehabs that we're currently doing. It's about 75% completed. And then we have 1 new build, in which hopefully we'll start within the 3rd quarter of this year.
So talk about, again, just kind of having a vision for something, and then just in the real estate world, it doesn't always look like what you think it's going to be. So we know that with construction schedules, that happens as well. Yes. So they may get off track. In this space, you've grown through the challenges of managing things that are out of your control. What does that look like for you?
Well, it's very difficult for me. Coming from a background of programming and training, it was easy for me to develop a program, set a timeline for it, implement the program, evaluate the program, share it as best practice. But with this, construction timelines and tables, it's not for the faint of heart. So, I actually really just had to pray, for patience, within this field. Like I said, I was just so used to developing something, setting that timeline and implementing it. But this right here, I've had so many delays and setbacks. So that has been a challenge, and it has challenged my character.
Mm. But still you rise. Still you remain a great man.
I try.
So can you talk a little bit more about the origins of the Edna Martin CBDO, and there's a lot of letters there, and the connection to the Martindale Brightwood Quality of Life Plan?
Yes. So our last quality of life plan was updated in 2017, and it went through 2020. You know, there was a need within the community of Martindale Brightwood for affordable housing and for the neighbors to not be displaced, but also for them to have an opportunity to afford the housing that they were going to live in. So that's kind of really how the CBDO, or community-based development organization, you know, came about, through the efforts, but also through the residents stating, hey, we need housing, we need affordable housing within Martindale Brightwood. Also, what's going on within our community is gentrification. So the east of Martindale Brightwood, or on the west of Martindale side along the Mo9, you know, there's, you know, gentrification happening, you know, currently, and it's moving east. So, you know, we decided to, you know, not complain about what's going on, but to see how we can combat our residents, you know, being displaced from the neighborhood. This was the opportunity to develop the CBDO. So what we did, we purchased 13 vacant lots through one of our partners in Tind, Indiana, which all of those lots are within Martindale Brightwood. And then also the Vacant to Vibrant properties are within Martindale Brightwood as well. So we've been very intentional about owning property so we can develop, but also sustain it as affordable housing.
Partnerships.
Yes.
I'm thinking of so many things, right? Because historically, Martindale Brightwood had a lot of home ownership. You have seniors and generations of folks who've been here for, you know, multiple generations, folks who come back and live in their parents' home. And so it's so important to keep that, keep them here in the neighborhood, right? And then you, of course, you have folks who've been renting forever in the neighborhood.
But in saying that, you know, I'm a product of that as well. You know, my family has been within Martindale Brightwood for over 80 years. My grandparents on both sides, my mother and father's side, live right next door to each other.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And then from there, you know, my mother actually being born in the house that she lived in. And then, you know, me and my siblings being raised in the neighborhood. And then eventually, you know, my nephews being, you know, raised in the house as well. So we have over 80 years, you know, of lineage in Martindale Brightwood. So I truly understand the aspect of being displaced. Because especially, you know, when you have family members upon family members who have lived in these homes. And then unfortunately, at times there were situations where people have tangled titles, where their mother or father, you know, may be on the title, on the deed, but the children aren't. So unfortunately, if that parent passes away, then probate court will eventually take that house rather than their children, you know, sustaining it because they're not on the deed. So, you know, we have a lot of instances within Martindale Brightwood that occur like that because, you know, one, we may be ignorant to, you know, what we need to do, but also we lack estate planning. You know, so we don't have the living wills or the wills to protect sustainable generational wealth.
I could go off into a tangent about that as well.
Yes.
And even just the services that you all provide. So you talked about home. We know the pillars of homes: opportunity, maintenance, entrepreneurship, estate planning, and equity. What does that mean to you?
Well, it means that an individual that comes through Edna Martin CBDO, you know, has an opportunity to either become a homeowner. Currently, right now, we don't have rental opportunities for the simple fact of capacity. We've only been in existence for the last 2 years. So hopefully within the next 3 to 5 years, we will have rental properties and opportunities to rent. But other opportunities that we have within our homes program is renters' rights. workshops for those renters. And then also home ownership one-on-one training, in which we do partner with Intent Indiana and Merchants Bank to conduct that training. And then from there, that will lead to home ownership. And it doesn't have to be our homes either. You know, we partner with Intent Indiana. They have several homes within Martindale Brightwood, the Martindale Brightwood CDC, INHP, and then of course us. So, you know, our goal is to have the individuals who go through our programming and training become homeowners either through our homes or our partners. And then from there, looking at, you know, the maintenance piece of it, we are seeking funding to help our seniors and help those who are 80% under the AMI. You know, if they need help with, let's just say, light maintenance, you know, fixing a toilet, putting a rail for our seniors for their stairway, also, you know, making ramps. So just finding an opportunity where we can seek funding to help the seniors and those that may not can afford it to fix their homes up, but also developing or, you know, working with other partners to have, you know, small maintenance workshops as well. You know, so there's been several times where we can't find the funding for that, but those individuals can either look on YouTube, or we can bring in partners or individuals, you know, that can help them, you know, learn how to fix things around their house. You know, I wouldn't want to fix a furnace. I would definitely want to call the insurance company to get that together, or your hot water heater, but other things around the house. You know, I think there are opportunities where individuals can learn so they can, you know, save money at that.
This episode is brought to you by Edna Martin CBDO, LLC, powered by Edna Martin Christian Center's HOMES program, helping families in Martindale Brightwood secure housing, build wealth, and grow strong communities. From home ownership training and down payment assistance to maintenance education and estate planning, HOMES is your one-stop hub for sustainable living and generational success. Ready to own your future? Contact Immanuel Ivey at ivey@ednamartincc.org and take the first step toward your new beginning. Edna Martin CBDO LLC, building homes, creating opportunities, and changing lives. Absolutely. That preservation of their home, again, because there's so many people. These help a lot of I know a lot of the homes in Brightwood. I think it is, what is it, like over 75% of the homes are over 60 years old or something like that. So that's good. That maintenance and that preservation, that's wonderful. And even the folks who want to become homeowners.
Yes.
So they can do all that here. Can you look in the camera and tell the folks what's the best way to get connected for those programs or those resources?
Yes. So the best way is to email me at IIV as in Victor, EY at ednamartincc.org.
You've built strong relationships with mentors and developers. What roles have those relationships played in your journey?
So one of my mentors right now is Keith Brodnex.
Love Keith.
I was actually, I just completed the LISC Indy Emerging Developers Growth Initiative. He's on the board of LISC, and he spoke, and he spoke there, and just to kind of always hear his story and, you know, how he started, but, you know, how he's continuing to still grow and still, you know, develop within this space, even though he's been within this industry and space for 30 plus years. You know, it's just encouraging for me, you know, me being a newcomer and who's kind of green within the development industry, just kind of hearing his story and, you know, him providing me that advice. I have, you know, several, you know, you just had Larry Wilson on here from Ultra Elite Group. He's another mentor of mine, in which we, you know, are now, you know, starting to meet, you know, bi-weekly to really, you know, hold ourselves accountable, you know, for the work that we're doing and beyond. So I think having a mentor is very valuable, especially, you know, within this space, but I think truly in life. You know, I've had, you know, other mentors when I used to oversee our workforce development, Tanya McQuarrie. She definitely helped me out when I first started. Joe Matthews, when I was at Jobs Partnership. So just having a mentor and understanding that they may not know everything, but they may know a lot more than you, you know? So, you know, getting those nuggets, but also, you know, trying to find multiple mentors within the space. So what I'm trying to develop and build is a a development or developer ecosystem called Developer SIT. And SIT is an acronym for Strategically Innovating with Technology. So, we have these developers within Martindale, Brightwood, and beyond. We're developing houses, but now there's new technology to build houses. So that's either, with the modular homes, with the 3D printing homes. So just kind of looking at, what are ways as developers that we can save costs, but also utilize the upcoming technology to do that.
Okay, wonderful. Well, I guess it is, like you said, technology. Thought you was going into AI, but yeah, technology. We looking at how do we work smarter,
Right.
right?
And then harder. And then, we have resources with AI as well, as far as softwares or apps. So, I'm not against it, but definitely, we still should, do our homework, do our research, still read a book, still read articles, because AI is only as good as what you put into it. But at the same time, you don't want to abuse the technology and have it run you. So that's what I am against.
Okay. All right, Immanuel, we've come to a part in our segment called Power Plug. What's your power plug? So the one principle that powers everything that you do.
My ability to decrease my ego and also be willing to humble myself in spaces and areas that I'm not as familiar with, but also spaces that I am familiar with and know and understand. I just know that I know a lot, but I don't know everything, and I'm not here to know everything. But also, me really building those relationships can help me move in the current, but also in the future. So that is why why I developed this podcast. One, to share about what Edna Martin is doing, but also just having the world know what other developers are doing within Indianapolis, because they have some great ideas, some great experience. So why not, expose them, to my network or to Edna Martin's network. So that's kind of what the plug or
yes, your power plug.
Yeah, my power plug is.
That's awesome, and I can attest that is all true. That is who you are as a person, and I appreciate you.
Thank you.
I appreciate you. Thank you for being who you are and creating space for entrepreneurs. As an entrepreneur, just developing people in spaces, and like you said, ecosystems.
Yeah, and I mean, I think the reason I do that because that's kind of how I was raised, and what people have done for me. So it's like if someone believed in me and shared their ideas or experience with me, I should do the same. And like I said, I don't know everything, so I'm not here to, act like I'm the professor or the know-it-all. So I'm like I said, I know some things, but at the end of the day, I love to learn, but also I love to share.
That's good. So one final question before we head out. What legacy do you hope to leave?
It's not about me. So it's like, I don't care about the legacy. I really want to share my parents' legacy. They really, mean a lot to me and really have done a lot in my growth in life. I went to Arsenal Technical High School, class of 2000, and I went through their business program. So I always wanted to build a business school at Tech and name it after my father, Franklin D. Ivey. He's been an entrepreneur for over 40 years, within Indianapolis on the east side, primarily for the most of those years. So, and then my mother, she was a case manager or the manager over the case managers, so if I would ever start a nonprofit, I would name it, Joe Diane Ivey. So that's kind of the legacy I want, to really shed the light on my parents and kind of what they did for me and, how they, raised me and formed me as a man today.
Beautiful. And your parents are beautiful.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
That just reminds me of the whole name of the podcast, Developing Me, We and You.
Yes.
Is that, I guess that embodies who you are. That's how you came up with the name?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Thank you so much for sitting down and sharing a little bit about who you are as a person and the work that you do.
I greatly appreciate it.
Remember, build something bigger than yourself. When we build together, we grow together.